It's Rob, and welcome to Oops All Ghosts. This is a place where ordinary people share their extraordinary encounters with the paranormal, from eerie whispers in the dark to chilling figures, to those moments you just can't explain. These are the stories that keep you looking over your shoulder. If you got a story of your own, we'd love to hear it. Send it to oopsallghosts@gmail.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon Music. So settle in, keep the lights low, and get ready because you never know what might be lurking around the corner. I
Hmm.
don't know if you've seen an episode or not.
Oh yeah, I've
But,
I've I've watched all yours on Spotify or listened
oh,
to them.
awesome.
Well, like I said, when I find somebody with a like mind, I kind of gravitate towards them, right? So, and I,
Yeah.
I I think that we're fairly similar in our interests.
Yeah, I find like once you experience it once, like there's just a belief and almost an outside perspective to people who've never experienced something like that.
Yeah, I've literally talked to a ton of people about this for years, and you could literally see their eyes gloss over, like they just go somewhere else. They stop paying attention. They think you're full of shit, right? Because they've never experienced it. But I always love it when eventually the naysayers eventually sometimes they experience it and they do a total 360, and it's kind of validating, right? Because really, um, there's more out there than what we even know, right? So
100%.
it's a mind-boggling world. So I've had several experiences, and listening to your podcast, it was bringing back a lot of memories that hadn't thought about in 20 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been told by many people that, oh, you're an empath, you're this. I don't know. I don't give any real stock to any of it. I'm just like anybody else. I'm observant. And if you observe long enough, sometimes you see the things you kind of wish you didn't see, right? But then you want to go further. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I want to know what's going on, right? Like what happens when we pass. Everybody's got their own beliefs and their
You,
you know
sorry, do
uh
you have ever like seek it out? Like I know a lot of
I
people who
used
go
to.
out.
I used to. Yeah. Well, it's been like the last 6 or 7 years that I just kind of lost interest in it, right? It was on the back burner with the rest of my life took the forefront, and that just kind of fell off. And then it got to a point where I just stopped paying attention. So I equate it to being out at sea kind of thing, and you see the lighthouse. And the more I talk about it, the more I bring it up, the stronger that lighthouse gets. And it almost becomes like a beacon to whoever. You know what I mean? Like it almost they gravitate towards me. I don't have to go out and look for it. Like it's it's pretty crazy at times. But the last 4 or 5 years, it just kind of settled down, and I never really paid too much attention to it anymore. But listening to your podcast kind of kicked it up. And it's not that anything's happening or anything like I've just got those feelings again. You know what I mean? Like it kind of
I think of it.
reinvigorated me, right?
Right.
So uh, I figure with all my, and there's a few stories. Like some of them were witnessed, some of them weren't. Like the story I was telling, I sent you. Uh, it was it was pretty scary, but we always kind of had that feeling in that house that there was something in the house. You know what I mean? Like you always got that feeling of being watched, and it was an uneasy feeling, but after a while, you just become, blank to it, right? It just becomes another thing. But when it happened, when my first incident happened in that house, like that scared the life out of me. I have never been so terrified because I've never had hands put on me. And in that house, I had hands put on me twice.
Twice.
Twice. And my stepdaughter at the time, she was a witness to the one of the more physical. But do you want me to go into my story now, or do you want me to just keep talking?
Um, yeah, let's start there. Like, when you moved into this house, was that feeling right away, or did it slowly work into the mindscape?
Well, it was an uneasy feeling right away, but you just chalk that up to a new house. Oh, it's, new sounds, the house settles. It's all a learning process when you move into a new place. But when things started moving, and we still can't be sure whether it was them or, whether my stepdaughter was kind of messing with us at first, right? That's what I thought. I thought, oh, something's got her going and she's just messing with us. But then we started seeing um like it's almost like apparitions, but it was at they say, do you know why they call it the witching hour?
I'd love for you to explain what the witching hour is.
Okay, at 3 a.m. is classified as the witching hour. It's the most active, apparently, that spirit or malevolence is around. And the reason it's at 3 a.m. is because in the Bible, Christ died at 3 p.m. So it's the actual inversion of the 12-hour inversion, up and down kind of thing.
Like
And
an
that
antichrist.
yeah, kind of thing. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know, but it seems to be true. Like okay, the first incident I had in this house, and we lived there for, I would say, 5 years, somewhere around there. That was back in the mid 2000s, maybe 2010. The dates kind of, I'm getting old. So we were renting the basement from my ex's mom, and it wasn't bad. It was a way to save money to get out and get our own property, and a means to an end, so to speak. So like right away when we moved in there, we always felt like we were being watched, and it was a very uneasy feeling. Like you'd just be sitting there at TV watching the TV, and it was almost like somebody was just glaring at you, right? So we eventually started paying no attention to that, and uh, I had a Senegal parrot named Sammy at the time, and that bird was, oh, something else. But we every time we covered the cage, the bird would go to sleep because that's what they did, right? That's kind of their thing. If it's dark, they tend to go to sleep. Well, this day I got home, and I don't know if it was a particularly hard day or what, but I was exhausted, and I sat down we had a rocker recliner, because the way you come in the side door of the house, you go right down the basement, and then there's the living room, and that's where I was sitting, and the far end of the basement was our bedroom, and that's where my ex was sleeping because she was working nights at the time. So I gotten home and I turn on the TV and I'm sitting there and I crack a beer and I don't know, maybe half a beer down, right? And the bird starts squawking like, Jeremy, where you been? Where you been all day? Kind of thing, right? And we had taught the bird that, but it was very rare for the bird to actually speak.
I
And
was
it was,
actually speaking that.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fully verbalizing those words. And it was kind of like, okay. So I'm looking at the cage, and then I swear to God, I hear my name called. And it's just like, Jeremy, Jeremy. And I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm the only one in this basement. So I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? Like, this doesn't make sense. And so then I kind of sit there for a few more minutes. I'm pretty sure I finished my beer. I'm not totally positive, but I went to get up because I'm like, I gotta check. I've got to check to make sure there's nobody in the laundry room because it was so vivid. It was like you standing right beside me calling my name. And so I go to get up out of this rocker recliner, and immediately I feel like I'm being pushed back. Like I thought maybe I lost my footing when I was, kind of half-ass getting up. But then I tried again, and my hands, it was like my arms were stuck to the arms of the chair.
Wow.
And that's when I start freaking out. I'm like, am I stroking out? Like what's going on? Am I having an aneurysm? Like I'm trying to run through my mind as to what could be doing this. I'm thinking, oh, like physically, I've got something wrong with me. But while this is happening, I'm getting, I would say, almost a tingling sensation as to where my hands were, or where I thought the hands felt. Right. So it probably only lasted 10 seconds, but it felt like a freaking hour. And finally, I was able to get up, and ran right into the bedroom, and I woke up my ex, and I'm like, "There's something going on here." And I went into the whole spiel, and she's not really believing me. She's like, "Well, maybe something happened." Me, trying to rationalize it, right? And then she
Hmm.
did the arm, the it was almost like handprints, but it was opposite. It was opposite hands. You know what I mean? Like it was the left hand on the right arm kind of thing. So you could see where the thumbprints were and everything. And she's just after that, there was no stopping it. The
Wow. And were they like bruises or like red
No,
imprints?
it was just like a red mark. Like you know how if you slap your hand and it'll go that red kind of color. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very similar to that. Um, so yeah, that was the one main one. And then like what had happened, because like I said, we it happened so much that my ex went and did a little bit of research on the house, because we're like, oh well, maybe something happened in the house. And we found out that the house itself wasn't there, but it used to be an apple orchard. And to preface this, I always got this name Chuck. For some reason, Chuck always popped in my head. It's Chuck. So we started naming it Chuck. Like, oh, it's just Chuck. It's just Chuck. But when the wife or the ex did research, she found out that there was the well, which is still on the property. It's covered over, but it's still technically it. They never demolished the well, but this well, apparently, the owner of the land, or the brother of the owner, I'm not positive, was named Charles,
Charles.
and he had died he fell into that well and drowned. Whether it was suicide, I have no idea. But it all come full circle. Then it's like, oh, that's why I'm coming up with the Chuck.
Now, I'm not sure if I missed it, but how did you find this research? Like, did you just Google it or?
Well, the ex went to the library, and they've got the microfiche, and I'm not exactly sure, because this was technically just around the startup of the internet, like the dial up. So we didn't really have access to uh, information like we do today, right? So it was, you go to the library, you can do a search on a property, and from there you can do a search on the person, right? So it's a little time consuming, but it was something that we needed to figure out. Uh, that same house, I'm not sure the length of time it was. I think it was within a couple of days and keep in mind, I was fairly new to any kind of paranormal activity. Like I'd had it most of my life, but I was so young, I didn't recognize it. I never understood it until like my mid to late teens, of how to recognize, you know. And like I said, I'm not a psychic. I'm not anything. I'm just highly observant. And if you observe long enough, I believe you'll see what you want to see. So we uh, we decided to do a house cleansing. So I got some white sage, and I started doing the Lord's Prayer in every room, and trying to clear the house.
Right.
And I went into our bedroom, which is in the basement, and my stepdaughter was following with me. I don't know if she was recording on her phone, or I it might have been before you were able to actually do that, right? I'm not positive, but I remember coming out of the bedroom, and I was literally shoved to my knees, and that was my sign to stop what I was doing. And that was like it wasn't, I didn't realize what was happening at the time, right? My stepdaughter saw everything, and I just seen the look of fear on her eyes, and that's what shook me. So after that, the house quieted down, but there was always still, like, we got photos. We had photos of people that I showed other people the photos on my phone, saying, "Hey, do you know this guy?"
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "No, who is he?" "That's the guy in my basement."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and it would freak people out, but it was the God's honest truth.
So this photo, was it just like the documents that your ex found, or was it like you taking photos around the house and it
Oh no,
caught
it was taken
something?
off my, like, Nokia. I remember I had a, like, Nokia flip phone, and it was taken right off my flip phone. Yeah, it was crazy. We also had a picture, and I don't know whether this is matrixing or not, but we used to have a sauna in our bathroom in the basement, and the owner always told us don't use it. It's not electrically sound. So I had no idea. So the one night after having a few beers, I decided to turn it on to see what happens. So
Yeah.
as I turn it on and I get in there, and it's warming up, it's working as it should. My stepdaughter at the time took some photos through the glass of the door, and you could literally see it almost looked like a Native American girl standing beside me. It was crazy. But now I don't have any of those photos anymore because we weren't really thinking of the future and posterity, right? So I don't even know what happened to those phones, but it was something else. That house was eye opening. That's probably the way to put it. And
That's a
that
lot
was,
of experiences.
yeah, it was after that house that it was a good decade of things happening. Like, I'm pretty sure, I'll see if we got the video. But a few years ago, we were doing like a a, a ghost haunt kind of thing, and I told my wife to video. I said, "There's something around me," and literally in the video, you can see about 20 or 30 orbs just floating just around me, and not around anybody else. There's about 8 or 9 more people there, right? So that's given me more sign than I need, right?
So just to help me picture this photo, was it a photo of everybody there, or did you take multiple photos of everybody, and yours was the only one with orbs around it?
No, I believe there was a couple of photos, but mostly it was people in the background. It wasn't like they weren't right close.
Right.
So, um, but you could definitely see the difference between what was around me and absolutely nothing around them, right? It was also at night too, so it would have been a little harder to see, but in the photos it seems to pop up quite frequent.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 10 years of this stuff happening in this house. That's must have been
Well,
pretty
it
spooky
was about,
sometime.
yeah, it was about 4 or 5 years in that house. In the house I'm in now, there's been activity as well, and my wife has witnessed several. So it's so much that I literally have a voodoo doll that
Oh,
I sleep
snap.
with on
Yeah,
my night table.
I can
Yeah.
see here. I don't have you on camera or nothing, but to describe it, it's like a little yellow figure with a black top and feathers on top.
Yep, with white pins, because white pins are, if you put, supposedly if you use black pins, it's for evil, and white pins are supposed to be for good. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it, but we bought it down in New Orleans when we went down there years ago, and it's actually, I've literally woke up in the middle of the night with this thing in my hand for some reason. It's only happened once, but I literally did wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, what am I holding? So I grabbed my phone, and it's it's the voodoo doll.
Wow.
So
But you
I
didn't
don't know
fall
if that
asleep
has
with
anything.
it.
Hmm?
You didn't fall asleep with it, but you woke up with it in your hands.
That's it, right? So I don't know if it was just, chalk it up to whatever, right? I don't know if that's uh, paranormal or if it's just sleep apnea. I have no clue.
No,
But I've had,
still,
it's been an interesting time. Uh, but like I said, the last few years it kind of died down, and I haven't had a whole lot of experience, but I've seen it and I just dismiss it. But now I'm starting to go, okay, well, maybe I should delve more into this again and see where it goes. Right.
where, like, let's go back. Like, when did you start noticing this stuff? How young were you? What was the first instant where you're like, this is not normal?
Well, that's it. That's the problem is I never realized it wasn't normal because I grew up in a family that well, I can't say highly religious, but uh, fairly religious, and it was heaven or hell. There's nothing in between. Don't talk about it. Don't. And I literally just had this conversation with my mother yesterday, and she's like, "I don't remember this happening." I'm like, "Because you weren't paying attention. You didn't ask." I was I was a very stoic and quiet child, and there's reasons behind because I didn't know that everybody can't feel this, right? It's not like I'm seeing ghosts because I have seen figures and I have seen apparitions, but it's not on a daily. It's not, it's once in a blue moon, but I get these overwhelming feelings. And usually when I get these feelings, it's because something's around. It, I can't go to accuracy at all because I would say if anything, I'd probably be 50%, 60% accurate. I'm not. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really delved into it too much, uh, but I think I'm going to start and see
So
where it
you
goes.
kind of get feelings like things are around or energies are present around you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm very intuitive that way. But I don't know whether it's just some sort of sensitivity. I have no idea. I don't. I can't turn it on. I can't turn it off. It's just one of these things that happens, and it's like I said, it's not an everyday thing. It's once in a blue moon. But when it happens, you know when it happens. You know, it's like you're okay. Like say for instance, you're sitting at work, and this has happened a few times. This has been years ago, but that goes back to the whole my name being called because it was happening. I was delving too much into it about a decade ago, and then it started interfering with my life, like to the point where I was having my name being called at work. Like I would, and there was nobody there, or I turn around and everybody's working, and it's like I just heard my name called. You know what I mean? It's things like that that it's almost be careful what you wish for. You know what I mean? Like I want to see the extent of my abilities if they really are the abilities that I believe they are. I'd like to see how far they can go, but I'm also worried that they're going to start disturbing my life for their own gain, right? And like I
Hmm.
said, it goes back to that whole beacon thing. It's the more you pay attention to them, the more they pay attention to you, and they see you as a way to get their message through or whatever. I don't know. I can't pretend to know their methods, right? Or their reasoning, but it can be pretty sketchy at times, right? You've got to really learn to trust your intuition And yeah, like I said, there's many a times where it's distracted me from things, right? To where it's like, okay, there's I seen something. I know I seen something, but did I see something? You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. It kind of messes with your head.
Especially when you're staying open to it, right? Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
find after a horror movie, right? Like your heart's racing, you're getting into it, and every sound feels that way. But when you close it off, you're a little more rational, and it sounds like these things are just happening randomly to you at those times.
Yeah, for sure. I've never found a rhyme or reason as to why it happens. I just know that it does. And like I said, I can't pinpoint when it started because when I was a kid, like I was having this discussion yesterday with my mother, telling her that I might be doing this show, and she's like, "Well, I don't really remember anything." I said, "Well, I remember playing hide and seek with a kid that wasn't there. I would have been 6 or 7 at the time. I can't quite remember my age, but uh, and that kind of shook my mom. She's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know." I'm like, "Well, you didn't ask." You know, it was one of those things that it's only been the past 7 or 8 years that I really started talking about it more. Well, like I said, I took a few years hiatus, but before that, I would talk about it, and people, it wasn't as accepted as it is today. Like I literally had guys tell me, "Don't tell people that. They'll think you're crazy." Well, maybe
Yeah.
I am. Maybe I am. I don't know.
My wife's one of those people where it's like if you don't think about it, you don't hear it, you don't see it, you don't believe it
Hmm.
kind of people. But you can see it in her face sometimes where it's like, is that what I just thought it was?
That's it, right? Like I tell people, you see those things in the corners of your eyes sometimes, those dark figures? That's them. That is them. They're all around us. They're all around us. They're on a higher vibration. I don't higher plane. I don't know. And occasionally we can glimpse through the curtain, right?
Hmm.
That's my feeling.
Now it's cool you brought up seeing shadows in your like the side of your eyes,
Oh
and I've
yeah.
been testing a theory about it. Do you find like it's a frequent thing through the year, or is it like once every few years kind of stuff where you're
Oh
noticing it?
no, it's frequent. It's probably on a weekly basis, maybe bi-weekly, that I get
By
those. I can catch them just in the corner of my eyes, and I know it's them. I just feel it, right?
and you said this house you're finding activity. Is it just in your house, or is it like all over?
Um, no, it's mostly just in the house. Uh, we've had my wife. This is shortly after we bought the house, maybe because she was in school. She was. I should probably get her to tell you the story, but she was doing schoolwork at the computer, and she heard something, and then the house. She said the house shook because it sounded like somebody took a sledgehammer right behind her and just slammed it into the floor. That she felt the vibration, right? And I'm like, oh, that's not good. But
Yeah.
that was like I'm not exactly sure all of her experiences because she doesn't tell me a lot of them. I think they kind of scare her. But I've had several experiences just in the house to the point where I had to tell them, if you do not leave me alone to sleep, I will evict you from this house and you will never get back in. And from that day on, I've never had an issue sleeping. Well,
Wow.
I've had issues sleeping, but not because of them. Like, I'll tell you just a quick little story about why I had to do that. We were sleeping the one night, and I just, kind of tossed and turned, groggy, and I opened my eyes. And the way our bedroom was set up, I could look into the hallway and see the stairs going down. And so I just happened to open my eyes, and thought, I'm like, did I just see somebody standing at the stairs going down, like all black, the typical thing? And I'm like, okay, my heart's racing at this point. I'm like, it took me about 15, 20 minutes to calm down. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ignore it. No, I'm just going to go back to sleep. So I turned over and I was there for, I don't know, 2 minutes. And then I felt a hand grab my hand so strong that I literally jumped out of bed and landed on my wife.
Wow. And did it feel
And
like it was coming from behind you or in front of you?
it felt like it was standing right beside my bed. And it was just like grabbing, just going, hey, kind of feel like that. Hey, I am here. You saw me kind of thing, right?
Wow.
So it was the next day that I went through and I saged most of the house. And then I just verbalized. And verbalizing it really does work if you say it right. You just gotta tell them, hey, this is not your place anymore. This may have been your place, but this is no longer your place. This is my place. This is my house of rest. And if I am not getting rest, you need to leave. And like literally, it was like the tap shut off and it stopped. Mind you, we've had a few other experiences, but I still
After
feel,
that?
oh yeah, it's just minor things, right? Like things will get moved, things will disappear for weeks on end. And then all of a sudden you'll come home and it's sitting on the coffee table. It's like that happened with one of my wife's medications. She was on, I don't know, some medication and it disappeared. So we actually had to go and get the doctor, try and explain this to a doctor, how we misplaced this medication
Hmm.
for them to write a new script so she'd get it. And she got it and it was like a week later, she come home and the prescription bottle that we were missing was sitting right on the coffee table.
On the
Like
coffee table.
yeah, right in plain view, like right where we sit when we come in, it was sitting right there. It's like there's no way that we would have missed it in a month, right? So it was little things like that. So it makes life interesting, but it also gives you a heart check once in a while. Like,
100%.
I I totally believe words have power. Okay, whether you want to, if you believe in Christ and you believe in the Bible, that has power. But I'm a firm believer that there is no heaven, there is no hell. We just return to the stars. We're maybe star beings. I don't know. Um, so, but I've used religious iconography before to help me rid them. But at the time, I kind of believed, but now I'm less of a believer in the any kind of religious things. But I'm just saying it could work for other people, right? If you believe strong enough, it'll work.
You're kind of bringing that energy into the words you're saying. I know it's something I was taught and I bring down to my kids is like when you're fearful and you feel that stuff, you say you are not invited here, and you gotta say it strongly to believe it.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely have to put your foot down because if not, you get harassed constantly. Like I said, I was having my name called. I've had my shirt tugged at work, like my upper shoulder. You know how you wear a loose fitting shirt, and if somebody comes up and just tugs your shirt, you can feel it quite easily. I had that happen a few times at work, and yeah, then it's just like this is enough's enough, right? Like
Wow, I watched a few videos where people actually caught it. Did you ever have a witness of someone like seeing your shirt being tugged that way?
not that I'm aware of. If they ever did see it, they never told me.
Right.
Because it still happens, even once in a while, walking down the street, kind of thing. You can just it's a distinct feeling, and when it happens, right? It's
Hmm.
similar to having because one of my signs is extreme anxiety, and I'm not really an anxious person. I'm more laid back. But when I get that extreme anxiety, I feel there's somebody around, right? And then you get the clothes pulling, the name calling. You put it all together, and it's like, wow, maybe there is more to this than what I've more stock to it than what I thought, right?
Right.
And that's what listening to your podcast has done is brought back all those, well, not all of them, but a substantial amount of memories that I just put on the back burner. And it's like, wow, to know that most people don't experience this, it's kind of a weird feeling, right?
Yeah, like you're kind of out past the line kind of stuff, and when you find the people who've experienced it, it's very different conversation you have between them.
Oh, definitely, right? Because it's more of a freedom to speak about it, and not no fear of being persecuted because the person you're speaking to believes it as well. You know what I mean? And has had experiences. Well, most people they they have experiences, but their rational mind tells them that that's not an experience. You know what I mean? So that's where you have to be open to it. And
Hmm.
I believe I've been open to it pretty much my whole life. So it's been a interesting time at times, right?
Yeah, I want to go back. You were talking to your mom about like your history of it, and you were talking about a childhood friend at the age of 6. You remember anything more about it? Like any conversations or just playing with someone who wasn't there?
Yeah, I just remember playing. It was only a few times that I can really remember it. But I remember one specific instance is we were gonna play hide and seek because I have two older brothers, right? And so we always were doing something. Um, so this kid, who I just naturally assumed was another kid, told me to go hide in this where the pantry door met the wall. You know how there's sometimes there's a space like 2 feet, and the door kind of closes you off. I was in there hiding, and what felt like could have been, I don't know, an hour, but it was probably only like 3 or 4 minutes, right? Um, and then everybody started freaking out because they couldn't find me. And this kid's like, just stay here, hide and seek. We'll be the champs. And then I turn around and I turn back and he's gone. And I'm like, where? The door hasn't moved. Like that was still in my peripheral, so I seen that it didn't move, and I'm like, and I can't say it was at that moment because I believe I just kind of dismissed it, like, oh, he left, right? And that was, I believe that was the last time I had any interaction with that. Uh, and I do remember telling my mother about it, and of course, no, it was that's not it's an imaginary friend, you know. I'm like, oh, maybe it was. That's what I chalked it up to for years, right? But there's too much to it. There's when it keeps happening over and over, it's there's something to it. Like somebody wants something from you, whether it's to pay attention. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't gone that far into it. But my mother remembers. She seems to think uh, that it all started when I was about 13. We decided to play with the Ouija board. Yeah, and we
Oh boy.
yeah, it wasn't the best decision because whatever. And we actually ended up getting my mother to sit in with us, but she didn't touch it or anything. So there's me, my two brothers, and my mother all sitting around this board. My brothers, and you know how a Ouija board works, right? Oh, just barely touch it, blah blah blah. Well, we were doing that, and I don't know whether a transformer blew or what happened, but literally all the lights in the house shut off, like shut
All the
down. It
lights.
was pitch black. And my mother seems to think that's when it started for me, that I formed an attachment then, because she's got to have some religious tone to it, right? So
Hmm.
you messed with the devil and they gave you an attachment and it's been there. Hey, that could be. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's like I say, it's been a gift and a curse, right?
Uh,
So
yeah, like the way you're kind of saying, like gift and curse is it. I'm finding a lot of people are experience like it's nice to enjoy the experience after the fact, but going through it is quite spooky and spectacular. I want to say.
yeah, it can be trauma inducing in some people, right? Like I've literally seen somebody lose all the color out of their face because they were so scared. And that was my stepdaughter. And I've never seen anybody react like that before. And that could have very well been traumatic for her, right? I don't know, but
Did you?
it's hmm?
So you probably talked to her a little after that. Like, did she notice anything different besides like seeing you go down?
I don't know. We did talk about it, but I can't remember the particulars of the conversation. That was a long, like that's I said 2010, somewhere around there. So 15 years, right? And I no longer have contact with my stepdaughter, so I can't uh, get any more information from her because I don't know, she's crazy.
Right
But
in the past.
but yeah, from what I remember, she didn't see anything in particular. She just seen the way it, like you can tell when somebody is shoved, even if you don't see the person shoving them, just by the force of their movement, right? And so, yeah, I know that scared her, but when I went to talk to my ex about it, it was it was crazy because she's like, "Well, you cleared the house." I'm like, "No, I couldn't clear the house. I cleared 90% of it, but I couldn't get into her mother's room." And I think that was the saving grace of whatever spirit was there, because we still had plenty of activity after, but it did calm down after uh, trying to do the cleansing.
When you're saying calm down, it means like no more grabbing or like was there
Yeah, no
anything
more
else that was noticeable?
no more physicality, right? Uh, like we had lights turn on every once in a while, and just minor things that your mind plays off, saying, "Oh, Katie must have left the bathroom light on," or whatever. You just give excuses, but when you have those experiences, you tend to put it together and go, "Huh, I don't know." There's too much to just dismiss it, right?
Hmm.
So, but I'm a firm believer in they're all, because I can't say I've seen spirit a ton. My actual, I'll tell you my latest one, and this was only beginning of spring. We
Oh,
were,
like recent.
yeah, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, maybe. Me and my wife were out for a walk, and we were walking. We were walking back to walk past a graveyard, and I just happened to notice that there was a lady standing in the graveyard filling a water bucket, like watering the plants, and she was wearing really colorful clothing. And so I pointed it out to my wife. I'm like, "Oh, like at least somebody's doing some work around here, right?" And my wife's looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" So the lady right there. She's like, "There's no lady there." I'm like, "Quit fucking with me. Quit it. You know how this works." She goes, "No, there is nobody there." And I looked her in the eye, and then I turned and I looked back, and there was fucking nobody there.
There was no one there.
There was nobody, and this was broad daylight. This was like 4 in the afternoon kind of thing, and it was just spooky because it's you don't expect it to happen in the daylight, right? But it does.
Yeah.
We just dismiss it. It's like I said, they're all around us. It's just whether they're on a different vibration, whether they're I don't know. I don't pretend to know. I just know what I know. You know what I mean?
And there's so
And,
many theories out there, like it could be an imprint of a strong memory or, attachment.
mhm. Well, you see, Electricity drives us. Okay, you got electrical synapses that, you want to move your arm, you got a synapse that goes in your brain that tells part of your brain to do whatever. It's electrical input, right?
Hmm.
Electricity does not die. It just transforms. Do you know what I mean by that? Like solar power, you get the solar panels, that converts sunlight into electricity, right? It's the same thing with our bodies. We have electrical components in our body, and electricity doesn't die, it just transforms. So, where does that electricity that is proven to happen, like they can measure it, where does that electricity go when you die? I believe it transforms in your spirit, your whether it's your spirit, your whatever, goes to wherever it's supposed to go. And if you don't go, that's when you're trapped here. You know what I mean? That whole go to the light thing, right? I believe there's got to be something to that. And people that live a crappy life or a horrible life don't want to go to that light because they know they'll be judged, right? So then they stuck in purgatory here amongst us.
Almost makes me think of like mummification. Like a lot of us, our bodies are going to go back into the earth or whatever, but there's some events that literally keep our bodies so preserved that it's all there for thousands and could be millions of years.
Oh yeah, there's there's Shakespeare said it right. Uh, Says there's more things in heaven and earth, dear Horatio, than what can be dreamt of. Right. So it basically means that there's more that we can see, more to this world than what we can see. You know what I mean? You
Right.
got to. I don't know. Uh, I don't have any kind of advice for anybody that's going through it. I don't. I just know how I've dealt with it, right? And it's okay at times.
Right? When it's just lights flickering and stuff, but to have that physical action, it's like, man, I'm just glad I'm on the other side hearing it from you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure, right? Uh, like I said, lights and things you can deal with. You can rationalize, but when hands are put on you, it's like, and you can feel the hands, right?
Hmm.
It's like, okay, there's more to this. So this is my new thing. I'm going to try and delve into it more and more and figure out what's going on. See if I can figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah. We've been talking for almost 50 minutes now. Is there any last thing you'd like to
Oh,
say
geez.
before we go here?
Uh, Not offhand. Just if uh no, just be careful what you wish for because not everything is as it seems, right? There is there is good and there is evil in this world, and you don't want to mess with the evil because it can mess your whole life up, right?
Especially based on your Ouija board story there. You
Yeah.
know, you asked for it and all the lights blown, and I wouldn't have been able to sleep for 3 days. Like,
Yeah, it was something. Like I don't remember exactly what happened after that, but I remember the lights going off and I'm pretty sure we got rid of the Ouija board after that. It was just that was too coincidental, right? It's like, how does this happen? You know?
right.
So there had to have been some reason. We just weren't ready for the reason or didn't know it at the time, right?
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Jeremy. I want to thank you for sharing your story and hopping on with me to discuss this stuff. It's been an awesome ride
yeah,
here,
man.
what you've been through.
It's a good conversation. Like I said, I got a handful of stories, only because it's been most of my life that this has been happening, right? So maybe in the future we'll sit down and chat again about it.
You hit the end of the episode, and I want to say thank you for watching the whole episode. Leave a comment on what your favorite story was from this guest, Jeremy. We got more to come, and we're hoping to hear from you guys on more stories to go. So if you know someone or you have a paranormal story you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. You already hit the end. You might as well. You know, it really helps this channel grow. Once again, stay spooky, guys.